Hello viewers, this is Libindu sir. Welcome to my channel. Uh, Actually, due to this lockdown, uh, I have planned to start some of my classes for biology especially, and also I'm going to give some classes for chemistry. Uh, if you like my video, please share it, subscribe it, so that you can avail the videos that are going to come on some interesting topics. I'm going to cover basically the biology first, then I'll come to my chemistry classes. 12, 9 to 12, 9, 10, 11, 12, all these classes will be covered. Today, basically, I'm going to start with uh, the class 12 biology. This is the class especially for the students who are going to appear next year for the board examinations, and they are in huge loss due to this lockdown. That is why I planned to start here. So please see the whole video. Okay. So the first chapter that we are going to start today is the reproduction in organism. I will be going through all the basic things. Okay. Reproduction in organism, and of course one more request before starting going to this topic. The students basically who are seeing this, please sit with your pens and copy so that you can note down some of the important things from the board. So reproduction in organism, the first chapter of the class 12 biology. Let's discuss the term organism. These are the topics, these are the things that I'm going to discuss now in the beginning, which you already have idea, but still, organism is any living being. So you have to remember it's a living being, because what happens is that some students I have seen that they have still confusion what is organism. So any living being is an organism. Now, reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is simply it's a mechanism, it's a process to generate new generation or new offspring. Or another way I can say, it is a process to that give rise to or give birth to the offspring or new generation. So the term here is offspring. You have to see some biological terms that you have to concentrate on. Offspring, which is also known as progeny, that is next generation. Okay, so the process that give rise to the offspring or the new progeny, that is the reproduction mechanism. So any living organism, they have this process of reproduction. This is the only mode through which they can continue with their generation. So the purpose behind the reproduction is continuity. Okay, somebody may ask that what is the importance of reproduction? If there is no reproduction, what would be the loss for organism? Okay, so the purpose behind the reproduction is continuity. Okay, that is continuation of generation. That is the survivability, survival. Any species, any variations that continue for generation after generation. Okay, that is the survival purpose. So that is the continuity, is the purpose, continuation of generation, the purpose of reproduction. Now, any living organism, they have a lifespan. Okay, lifespan. Now, what is this lifespan? Lifespan is there is birth and now there is death. Now, in between this, the phase, the period in between this is known as the lifespan. Okay, so this lifespan varies from organism to organism. Okay, some organisms have very few days of lifespan. Okay, some of them have few months, 2 years. Okay, for many years. For example, if we see at let's see some of the organisms. Let's take elephant. Okay, so elephant, what is the average lifespan? 60 to 90 years. Okay, what about a butterfly now? If we see a butterfly here, what is the lifespan? 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, and then banyan tree. Banyan tree, it's on an average 200 years. Okay, so you may surprise that a plant, a tree, okay, which is surviving for 200 years is much more compared to the other animals. Okay, there are reasons why some organisms have very less, fewer lifespan compared to the other. Actually, it is basically depends on the structure of the organisms. The advanced level of organisms, okay, their survivability is much more compared to the organisms which their structure is comparatively simple. Okay, the butterfly, the structure of the butterfly, the structure of the elephant is there is a difference, a huge difference actually. That's why we see the difference in their lifespan. Okay, so you can take example of any unicellular organism. It may be a bacteria, it may be an amoeba. Okay, in that case the lifespan is much more less than compared to the other multicellular organisms. Okay, that is why the lifespan varies. Okay, organism to organism the lifespan varies. Okay, now the question comes that why do we say that single celled organism, okay, single celled organism, they don't have any natural death? There is no natural death in case of unicellular organism. We know that there is death for living organisms, but now I am saying that, okay, there is no natural death for single celled organism. How? Okay, we have, all of us have idea of cell division. So suppose it's a single cell unicellular organisms, maybe a bacteria, maybe amoeba, we just divide. The cell is just dividing simply into two new daughter cells. So the cell is not getting damaged, the cell is not dying actually, there is no death we see here. What you see is that the cell is simply dividing into two new daughter cells and they are surviving now. Again, they will be dividing. This cell is going to divide into two more new cells. Okay, and this cell is also going to divide into two new daughter cells, and it will be going on. Okay, so it means that none of the cell is actually dying. The cell is simply dividing two or more. We will see that a cell may divide into two or it may be more. So the cell is not dying. That is why we say that in case of single celled organism, okay, there is no death. See, they are giving rise to the new generation. How? By the cell division. So in case of them, cell division itself is a mode of reproduction. Understood? In sexually reproducing organisms which are at more advanced level, their technicalities is much more higher. But in case of a single cell organism, like we see here, that cell division itself is a mode of reproduction. Okay, that is why there is no death of single cell organism, no natural death. Accidentally it may damage, it is, okay, it happens, but naturally there is no death of single cell organism. Now let's come here. This reproduction, that from the we have the knowledge that we have studied in our earlier classes, that reproduction is of two different types: asexual mode of reproduction and sexual mode of reproduction. Though we know the differences between them, but let us discuss a little bit so that the concept will be clear. because this knowledge is going to help you a lot in your second chapter and further concepts. Asexual reproduction. Number one, that we know that only one parent is involved here. Here, two different parents are involved. Okay. Second is that there is no concept of gametes in case of asexually reproducing organisms. But in sexual reproducing organisms, we see the gametes. Gametes are present here. So here, let me say something about this gamete. Gamete is nothing but a cell. It's a reproductive cell. Okay, reproductive cell which is produced by male and female organisms separately. So this is nothing but a cell. Okay, there is a requirement of producing male and female gametes. Okay, by the two different parents. This is the concept of sexual reproduction. We will discuss in details later on. So there is no concept of gametes in case of asexual reproduction. Okay. Third, what we see, the most important is that there we see here clones. But in case of sexual reproduction, we don't see clones. What we see? We see variation. We have to understand these terms. What is clone and what is variation? Biologically, if I define what is a clone, okay, clone is something, any organism or anything which is morphologically and anatomically similar. Okay, morphology and anatomy. What is morphology? Morphology means this term talks about the external feature of an organism. External feature. If we look at a plant, okay, we can see the branches, the colorful flowers, the colorful fruits, leaves. What we can see, okay, in any animal also, externally whatever we can observe, we can see. Like if you look at me, okay, the black hair, the color of the hair is black, 5 fingers on each of the hands. So these we can see. Okay, color of the the eyes. Okay, so this we can see. That is the morphology. And what is anatomy? Internal structure. Okay, internal structure of a living organism or internal structure of a cell or a tissue. That is the anatomy. So the organism which is morphologically and anatomically similar to the parent are the clones. Okay, similar to the parent are the clones. Now how it happens? How they become similar? Let's take an example. Suppose this is an organism, okay, where we see a sexual mode of reproduction. What it does, it just simply divides. Okay, suppose it is dividing into two new cells or organisms. You see, they look same. It is just copying, Xerox, dividing simply. Okay, that's why it is clone, morphologically and anatomically similar. Because the genetic combination is coming from the one parent only. Okay, into these two daughter cells. Now, variation. Variation is a concept related to the sexual reproduction. Now, in case of these, as we know that two different parents are involved here, so variation means simply we say the differences, okay, from organism to organism. That is the variation. Two different parents, suppose parent A and B, this is suppose it's a male, it's a female, okay. Now they are going to produce what? Gametes first, okay. Reproductive cell gametes. So male gamete produced and it is the female gamete which is produced. Now this is the fertilization that takes place. Male gamete fused with the female gamete. So what ultimately comes is the new offspring or new generation. Now what is the common sense? It says that at the cells are coming. Cells coming means the genetic combination. Okay, coming from both the parents. Okay, so the newly formed daughter cell is going to have the combination of both the parents' genes. So it's a combination of genes, combination of cells from two different individual or two different parents. Okay. So when this combined structure we see, so obviously we can see that there is a something going to change, is variation which is not found in the parent, something that is present in the offspring. This is what the variation is. Okay, and from this we can understand this is definitely not possible in case of sexual reproduction. So variation is not observed in a sexually reproducing organism. Okay, in sexually reproducing organisms we see the variations. So two different terms here. Okay, now next topic we are going to discuss is the asexual reproduction. Little details. Okay, asexual reproduction, little details here. First of all, we have to see the different types of asexual reproduction. If you have copy with you, so please note down. I'm going to give you a flow. Different types of asexual reproduction first. We must know what are different types of asexual reproduction. We see. First of all, it is the fission. We will talk about it one by one. Second is budding. Okay. Also, which is known as what? Which is known as torulation. Okay. What is the third? Third thing is that sporulation. Then we see here, let's talk about this regeneration, then fragmentation, then we see here parthenogenesis. Also we see vegetative propagation. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, let's continue. So these are the different types of asexual reproduction. One by one now we are going to discuss. First is let's talk about fission. What is fission? There is one more term, fusion, and now it is fission. Fusion means two different things fused together, and fission means one single thing that separates, okay, into two or more. That is the fission. So one single cell that divides into two or more new daughter cells is the fission. Now on the basis of this I can say that there is binary fission, there is multiple fission, and one more is there which is called plasmotomy. Okay. Binary fission means what? Simply one single cell divides into two new daughter cells. Binary means two. So one single parent divides into two new daughter cells. Multiple means what? Multiple means one single cell. Example of binary fission, if you say, like you can give amoeba. Okay. Also in bacteria we see binary fission. Multiple fission means one single cell divides into more than two new daughter cells. Okay. Now example you can say, I'm just writing here multiple fission example, Plasmodium. It's a protozoa which is responsible for malaria. Plasmotomy. Okay, plasmotomy is seen in case of multinucleate cells. It's very important. Normally we know that one cell have one nucleus. Normally we see, but there are cells where more than one nucleus are present in a cell, which is called multinucleate cells. Okay, multinucleate cells. So in case of this, what happened is that the cell just copied and form a new cell which is also having multinucleus structure. So this is called plasmotomy. Okay, Pteromixa is an example of an organism where we see this plasmotomy. Another, there is one more name of these cells are there, which is called syncytial cells, or mechanism is syncytium. Okay, multinucleate cell division. Next, I hope this fission concept is clear. With the example for your examination, you have to remember the definitions, and also you have to remember at least one or two examples, which is important for you. Okay. Next is, let's see the topic. What's the next? Fine. I think it will take some more videos for me to make to continue and to complete the first chapter. Okay, I will be uploading my forthcoming videos. Okay, on the next topics I'll continue. For today, this video, okay, I have discussed till fission. Okay, from budding will continue in the next class. So thank you so much for seeing this video. Good day. Thank you.